Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike from Budget Gaming, back here with, I believe, part 4 of A Tale of an Adventurer. This is our shaman adventure on Fairlina. I'm currently in Mulgore, but I'm going to be running all the way to Durator to meet up with my friend Alex, who just hopped in. So say hello.
Hello.
So we had an issue with the audio, so I actually ran this down and we're recording the audio back over it. So it might seem a little weird. We may repeat some things that we've already talked about in part 2. So just bear with us or part 5, I guess, of the series. But after this part, we have everything recorded. So, alright, so he just added me into the group, so when I get over there, I can meet up with him.
Yes, indeed. Zircon, the warrior orc.
So this is my friend Alex. We've been friends for such a long time, and we actually just after we met, I got him into World of Warcraft, and it was at the end of Wrath of the Lich King, I believe.
Yeah,
So
this
right
end of
before
Wrath.
Cataclysm.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been playing for a while. Of course, I've been playing since '05 vanilla when I was about 9. So I've been playing for a while too. But he took a break. When did you stop?
So I've kind of actually stopped a couple of times. I played until probably the start of Mists of Pandaria, and then I just wasn't really interested in that expansion, to be honest.
That's fair.
So I didn't do that one. But then I came back at Warlords of Draenor, I believe.
Yeah,
Played
the
all the
next one.
way WoD and Legion. And then Battle for Azeroth now. I played up until the Mythic Cahoon raid went live. And then I dropped the game at that
That's
point.
fair.
But I'm back now for Classic. So.
Heck yeah. Yeah, so I similarly, I think like basically right after I got you started at the game, I took a break for a while, and you played through Cataclysm and you really liked it, from
Mhm.
what I remember. I didn't like it, or I was just out of WoW for a minute or something. So I really didn't play again until the end of Mists of Pandaria, and then
Mhm.
I think whenever I was playing, you weren't. And then whenever you were playing, I wasn't for a while
Yeah.
there.
It's kind of like a juggling match, I guess, between us both when we were
Right.
playing and not playing. It's
Yeah, but now that Classic's out, I wanted to get him back in so we could do some raids. It's funny because he's a warrior, so when we join as a DPS and a tank into a group, they're probably going to assume that he's the tank, so they're not going to make a big fuss about it. And then secretly, I'm going to be tanking for most of them. Sometimes, like just to fill and show the dungeon, I might heal, and he can tank. Um, just because having a healer and a tank will be able to find a dungeon group almost instantly as we level, which will be really nice.
yeah, no, definitely. I tend to in retail kind of lean towards tanks, anyways. I enjoy them the most. One for insta Q reasons, and two
Hmm.
for just I guess I don't know. A tank has a lot of responsibility, but for me, the responsibility pales in comparison to a healer. So,
You think
like,
the healer is more important or has
yes,
more
absolutely.
responsibilities?
I think so. The healer has to pay attention to a lot more things. Sure, as a tank, I got to make sure I'm keeping aggro and popping buffs when I need to. But that's about it. The healer has to
That's
juggle
fair.
4 different people, plus 3 of them being unfortunate the DPS that stand in all the bad stuff. Um,
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of those, which is really fun. Uh, I would say I would agree with that statement in Classic because threat works way differently in Classic than it does in
mhm.
retail. And you are limited to usually only 2, maybe 3 threat, like aggro pulling spells
Mhm.
for most classes. But in retail, I feel like everyone at this point pretty much has the boa gear,
Mm-hmm.
and so everyone's like just a god compared to whatever level beast. Like
Yeah.
even if they're elite, they just feel normal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So in retail, like as a healer, I usually get pretty decent queues leveling, and then I just kind of sit back and heal the tank, and everyone else just kind of scrambles around.
Yeah,
But
I mean, in retail, I have a max level. Well, max level as of Legion. I haven't leveled them all up to max in Battle for
gotcha.
Azeroth.
So they're sitting at like 110.
Yeah, most of them are 110, but I have one for every class. Mostly Alliance side, because I'm a Night Elf fanboy. I think it
Nice.
was. I think what hooked me on the Night Elves was probably the Night Elf Mohawk advertisement way back in the day with Mr. T.
With Mr. T,
Yeah, I'm Mr. T and I'm a Night Elf Mohawk. You know,
right?
that was great. And I think that's
Those are awesome.
exactly when I started playing around then. I
That's
remember
fair.
the Mohawk grenades for sure.
Yeah, I remember I was playing Horde at that time, and he was posted up in front of the troll little camp
Mhm.
in Durator. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, I got those Mr. T bombs, and it would, even on the Horde side, I'm pretty sure it would transform you into a Night Elf with a Mohawk.
You know, yeah, sorry, my words are fumbling. I would be so interested to see how many people actually have some of those still sitting in their inventory somewhere.
In their bank? Yeah, I would
Right?
love to, like, see that, like, just a compilation of, like, the oldest stuff in the bank, because I'm sure there's plenty of people that have discontinued items.
Oh
Or
yeah, I'm
limited time
sure.
items.
I
I know
mean,
I've got some like Dark Moon Fair stuff that was seasonal only, like not just the normal Dark Moon stuff, but some of the Dark Moon, like I think the 1 year anniversary Dark Moon had like a special item, and the 5 year Dark Moon Fair also had a special item, and I'm pretty sure I have the 5 year one on my current account, and then the other one was on my old account that got hacked. But
yeah, you know, I actually don't like. I guess I don't know. I'd also be curious to see how many people actually make efforts to participate in the various holidays. I don't think I've ever actually spent more than like an hour in Dark Moon Fair before. I
really,
remember I remember I went there to get the Moon Wolf toy off of the wolf just to I think it's the north of the fair
yeah,
that you can kill. I think that's the longest I ever spent in there was killing that mob and to
dang,
get the toy.
that's too bad.
But there's other holidays like Brewfest, which I actively do a lot every year.
Brewfest is amazing. It's probably my favorite holiday in
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, and I really hope that they start bringing holidays to Classic. I think that'd be really fun. I'm trying to remember if they had them in vanilla or if that was not until the Burning Crusade. I kind of want to say that it wasn't until TBC, because I think we didn't get a calendar until TBC.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
not sure.
so I think they possibly do for the reasoning that I don't know if you remember on our night elves that we're playing, pointing out to another series that we might be doing. The outside of Dunmorrow or in outside of Ironforge and Dunmorrow, there was that big old table with a bunch of ghosts and stuff that were all drinking and eating and stuff, and that's
Right.
a small holiday. That's it's not one of like the major holidays, but it's like in remembrance of the fallen heroes and stuff, and it's quote unquote a holiday. So I'll be interested. I think the next holiday that would be coming up. Do they ever do anything for Halloween? I'm pretty sure they do something for Halloween.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
It's honestly like as I said, I don't put a lot of effort personally um into the various holidays that
Into
come
the
by.
events. One
Yeah.
event that I never got into, in a profession that I never got into, was I really never got into the third professions, like the extra ones, the first
Fishing
aid,
and first aid.
fishing, and all that. So, like, I'm gonna be doing first aid on my hunter on the night elf, uh, because I have to, like, just to have a heal and such. But on this one, I don't really need that because I have heals and I have shields and all that. So I'm probably not even going to worry about doing first aid on this. and I'm probably not going to worry about fishing either, just because I feel like it's unnecessary. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion.
So I've been actually working on our rogues, our rogues, not our rogues, my rogue, on first aid, running around in near the Loch Modan and stuff like that, killing off the gnolls and stuff. That not gnolls.
Yeah.
The rat
The
things.
trogs or whatever.
Yeah, the trogs and the rat things that are over there. Getting a bunch of linen cloth. Because as a rogue, I feel like I always need bandages while leveling, especially if I'm doing a couple of things by myself. I do have evasion that usually helps, but that's also like a 5-minute cooldown. And when you're trying to push through, you know, an area that has a bunch of, hey, like on the screen right here, you see what you're working with. That was the festival. But
that table outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you said before, we're re-recording this, so we're kind of both watching it at the same time to just keep relevant to what's on the screen to a degree. Well,
I want to say real quick, I'm going into Orgrimmar right now because I'm going to go pick up mining. So I think in the last part I showed you guys, or maybe it was part 2, I showed you guys that engineering doesn't exist in Thunderbluff. Like, you can't train in engineering for some reason. So I had to run all the way to Orgrimmar, and it's all the way in the back. So you have to run all the way back there. So just heads up, it's a pain in the butt. But continue.
Yeah. Honestly, I lost my train of thought. But
Sorry.
The Band-Aids. It seems to help a lot. Personally, I think so. You know, you do have a timed cooldown on how often you can use bandages, but I can hop right back into a fight after sneaking and, you know, in a couple of seconds instead of having to wait for my health to just bloot all the way back up.
Do you know, and you may not, do the Band-Aids have a lower or the same cooldown as health potions?
I think they have a lower cooldown. I think it's only 10 seconds before you can use a bandage again. I might be wrong on that. It might be like 30 seconds. But I definitely don't think it's
I'm pretty
potions.
sure it's 30.
Yeah, I don't think it's potions length. And honestly, I could probably confirm that. I honestly really, really enjoy using my Band-Aids and stuff. You know, it helps.
That's really important for a rogue, because, like, other than your evasion, you don't really have anything to, like, help you out at all.
Yeah, for sure. I've also noticed with my rogue man, you need to focus the casters, because the melee guys, 90% of the time, if you have your build right, it's gonna dodge about 50 to 60% of the hits on you. But the wizards, man, and the casters, they hit you, and they hit you hard. So you need to have your kick ready to you know, stun lock the spell casting and take them out, because, whoo, man, in the Loch Modan area, there's a lot of ogres and whatnot, and it is a pain in the butt because there's a cave in the back that you have to kill one of the bosses, and you have to pull those things very slowly and very carefully, because if you don't, dude, the casters will just end you in seconds, dude. It's nightmarish.
Yeah, and that one has shamans in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so they throw lightning bolts at you, and then it has one of them that throws fire at you or something, or like a
Dude,
nature
it hurts
ball.
so bad.
Yeah, those hurt a lot. I'm playing a hunter, so I have a little bit of defense for melee attacks, because Aspect of the Monkey gives you increased dodge, and then you can also spec to have increased dodge.
Mm-hmm.
But for casters, if it hits, it hurts.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. It's honestly.
That's one thing that I'm really going to be enjoying about the shaman, is that we get nature resistance. So
yeah, that's nice.
So right now I'm just going through. I worked on my mining by smelting all that stuff. Now I'm going to engineer some light shot and some other things. I'm just going to sell it to the vendor.
The blasting powder.
Excuse me.
Speaking of vendoring and versus selling stuff, again, sorry, talking about the rogues here, but I'm having the worst time selling off some of my crafted leatherworking gear, dude. I don't know
Really?
why. I don't know if it's this particular server that just doesn't want to buy leather, but like it is a pain in the butt. I've only sold like 2 of the boots, and I have like 3 inventories worth of them.
Dang.
Yeah, and like I don't want to post them on the auction house again because then I'm going to start going into the negative on profits.
Yeah,
on
you're gonna go upside down on them.
and so it's just like they're sitting in my mailbox right now, like
I mean,
doing
better than
nothing.
nothing. Just sell them to a vendor.
Oh, interesting. So I hopped on to WoW, and it takes 60 seconds for the bandages.
Does it really?
Yeah, but I have potions too. I'm going to test that. So we'll get some definitive answers, because that's what the people want to know. Interesting. It looks like, it's 2 minutes for potions.
2 minutes.
2 minutes
So
for
you
potions and a minute for
You can
band-aids.
use. You really should use both of them.
Yeah.
Then.
I wonder if maybe I should drop leatherworking since it's not doing so well and go and do some alchemy.
You can't drop a profession, can you?
I don't know if you can drop professions in Classic. Let me
pretty
go to
sure
the
you can.
alchemy trainer and see. I don't think you can though. But we'll see. I don't think you are able to now that I think about it, but I am going into the alchemy shop right now. On my
Okay,
rogue.
so apparently you can unlearn it by going to the skills tab in your character info page, selecting the profession, and clicking the unlearn button on the right hand side of the bar.
Oh yeah, it's a little red button with a golden kind of circle with a slash.
That's good to know.
Yes, indeed. I wonder. Skinning and leatherworking. It only works on primary professions. It does not work on secondaries like fishing and stuff. I don't know why you would choose
Probably
to
because you can
unlearn
have
those.
all of those, so it doesn't matter if you want to switch or not. You can just learn the other one.
Was it Cataclysm that introduced archaeology?
Either Cataclysm or Waddle Cave, but I'm pretty sure it's Cataclysm.
Yeah, because like there's that. I've never actually tried to do archaeology before. I know people that are obsessed with it because there's a lot of toys and stuff that can come from it.
Yeah, so
I
you
think
can
there's also
actually-
some heirloom items that come from it as well.
There are, and there's also mounts that you can get from it,
Right.
which is why I was into it for a long time. And I completed a couple of pages, not that long, but yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
right now, right now I was gonna go and trade in these linen for some bags, real quick. This very nice undead named Rithna,
Rithna, I'd say.
has tailoring, is gonna make us some linen bags because I know I have 2 right now, and I'm pretty sure you only have 1.
Yeah, no, at this time I only had 1. They also at this time too, like a couple of days after we initially recorded this video, I am like 95% sure that they probably increased the bag drop percentage, because if you remember, a couple of days later is when we started our rogues and stuff, or no, we hopped on our rogues again, or our rogues. I keep saying our rogues like we both have one.
Our Nelfs.
Our Nelfs. My apologies. We hopped on our Nelfs and like I got 4 bags in a matter of 30 minutes. Like, so I
Did
don't
you
know.
really?
Yeah. Like
don't remember
I do. I definitely do, because I got bags so quickly. And I don't know why or when or how, but
Well, I don't really have a need to find them on the Alliance side because my mage has tailoring.
yeah.
So right now I can make an 8-slot bag. I have a recipe that I can't learn yet for a 12-slot bag. Or 10-slot, I think. Yeah, so... But, okay, so you guys keep hearing us reference our Night Elves. I believe what we're going to do with them is we're going to record each Alliance dungeon as we level them. So it's not going to be as streamlined. It's not going to be a whole series where you're watching us run around, listening to us talk for an hour. We're literally just going to start the recording as when we find a group and then show off the dungeon, because I realized that just on these characters, you guys aren't going to be able to see dungeons like Stormwind Stockade. What's the first one over there in Westfall? Dead Mines or Van Cleef, however you want to say it. I personally say Dead Mines or DM. But, and then there's a few others. And just like if we were just doing the Alliance side, you guys wouldn't be able to see Wailing Caverns or Ragefire Chasm. Every time. Every time. So we're just going to record our one run through on those. And then also, with that being said, if we do multiple run-throughs of the same dungeon, like in the same day or with the same group or whatever, on these characters, we may not record all of them. We may just record the first one, because I feel like it's unnecessary for you guys to watch the same dungeon over and over again. Right. So if you see like a random sudden jump from like 15 to 17, where it was only one dungeon, and then all of a sudden we gained 2 levels, it's probably that. And we'll say that when the video starts, just to catch you guys up. But
this is this Harpy Canyon, man. I was having so much troubles in this canyon finding the eggs.
So one thing that I learned since recording this video, was it is very hard to level when you use the protection spec on warriors. So, which I think is the one that you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Right? So what people are doing is, if they want to tank, they go arms. And then you can either tank one hand in a shield, or you can 2-hand tank. Apparently that's good enough if you're a good enough tank. I don't really know. I don't play warriors, so I don't know what's good enough and what's not. But, yeah, so that's what they are normally doing. But because we're so low level, it probably doesn't matter too much right now to where you have to respec. But I would start putting some points into arms. Coming up.
For sure.
Unless you want to do a lot of damage, then go Fury. Always.
Yeah. No, I've been checking out Icy Veins, looking at a couple of different
Nice.
builds and stuff. I tend to use Icy Veins for a lot of stuff. It's never done me wrong, especially in retail. When Demon Hunters came out, I really didn't have any clue on how to be efficient with their mobility and all that jazz, and following their rotation guide as well as their stat builds were like night and day for me. I was going, DPS, like top 25 of a raid to like top 5.
Nice.
It's just all about like following the right rotations, and the people that work on Icy Veins and whatnot, they work hard on making sure that their information on there is accurate. At least in my opinion, they work hard. I'm sure there's some niche things that some top tier raiders know, that maybe the common folk might not know, or maybe even Icy Veins might not know. But
right,
from what I've been seeing, most of the top tier raiders nowadays have some sort of
hey, there you are. Here's your bag.
Oh, hey, there's me and my shield. I'm so bald. He literally is so bald.
We broke the trade system right there.
Yeah, we confused it.
Because we were trying to trade each other 69 copper.
Yeah.
And it didn't allow it to happen. But So earlier you mentioned that you usually play tanks in retail.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to ask you what your first tank was.
First tank was a bear tank.
Bear?
I love druids. As I said before, I am an absolute Night Elf fanboy. I feel like Night Elves as a druid is my fantasy niche, to say the least. I
Yeah,
think it makes the most sense to me. I like that kind of naturey, connected with the moon type like fantasy lore, and WoW has just kind of always captured my heart in that aspect. I love
that's fair.
elves always, absolutely always. I didn't ever get into like the pretty boy blood elf side of things though. But I don't know.
I actually really enjoyed the Blood Elf model.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely, they have like great looking models. It's just I don't know, they definitely assume the more high elf, I guess,
They're
side of
definitely,
things.
yes, they're definitely more high elf than like wood elf.
Yeah.
Um, but the reason I like their model is one thing that I've said in plenty of videos is usually when I have the ability to play a female character, I will choose female over male because the uh, if I'm going to be playing a character for 4 hours, it might as well be someone that's hot that I like to stare at, you know. So I usually
Yes.
go for the female model, and the night elf or blood elf model is perfect in that
Mm-hmm.
regard. But
Yes.
also, it's the most. I have this thing. So on the alliance side, I don't like playing humanoid species. So like I like playing mages because they're like unusually not mages, gnomes because they are unusually short, or like night elves because they're completely different. Or is there another
There's
one other than dwarf?
Worgans, but like
Well,
they're
as far as retail,
human.
yeah, I would in retail my preferred alliance race is Draenor for sure.
Giant space cows. Yes.
Yeah, but again, for those, I play the male one because the female one just doesn't, you know, do it for me. So,
You don't like
uh,
giant hooves, Mike?
I personally am not a fan, but you know, it
Uh,
is who it is, what it is.
yeah.
So, but my point being, I usually try to play the least humanoid thing whenever I play like WoW or a tabletop game or something. But when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
playing the Horde, for some reason I like playing the more humanoid things. So like I know, which is weird because I'm playing a Tauren right now, but that's only because it's the most efficient tank, uh, and because I'm playing a Shaman, I need that extra boost. But right now I'm trying to find this Shaman quest in these mountains, and I was lost because I thought you had to go through the starting area because it moved in Wrath of the Lich King, I think, to a different spot in the mountains. But you actually have to go around this from the South Fury River and go up the backside of the mountains. So just
Mm,
FYI.
got it. Yeah. No, so like that's an interesting topic, I guess. Too, is like, in a fantasy world, why would you want to play a human? You know, like
Right,
you
that's my point for
that's
the
not
Alliance.
a change. You know, you're
Right.
not experiencing something new. I mean, yes, you're in a fantasy world where there's magic and monsters and all that stuff, but like a human's a human. You know,
And
you're a human.
if you play fantasy games like D&D or Aberrant or whatever other tabletop or video games or whatever, and you like to play the human warrior or human berserker uh, person, then that's fine. That's not, that like those roles absolutely need to be filled, and I'm happy that there's people out there that like to play those roles because that means I don't have to, which is the beauty of MMORPGs or just RPGs in general.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so for a fantasy role, I like to play like the least humanoid thing. But for some reason on the Horde, my favorite races are the Blood Elves, which are extremely humanoid for the Horde,
Hmm.
and Trolls, which are the classic humanoid I guess you could argue undead are pretty humanoid as well.
I mean, they're literally just humans
They're
that
literally
are
humans
undead.
that are rotting, I guess. But I don't like their starting area at all.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's the worst starting area, in my opinion.
Yeah. Did you? Okay, so that's actually another quick off-topic thing that I'm sure everybody's heard about before. But did you hear about like China having to censor the undead due to like certain laws that they have about displaying gore and all that stuff?
Really? No, I did not
Yeah.
hear
So
about that.
apparently in China or one Asian country, it was one of them. I'm pretty sure it was China. But during a time, or if they might still be doing it currently, they had to censor off like the exposed bones and kind of like bloody gore part of the undead due to laws they have about like the graphic display of undeath or something like that.
Interesting.
Maybe if you have a second, you could pop up a picture on the screen of the difference between the two.
Yeah, I definitely will.
But like yeah, no, I was reading about that. I watch like World of Warcraft videos on YouTube, as probably anybody who plays this game does, as well as Twitch streamers and all that jazz. And I saw it in like an interesting facts video about World of Warcraft, and I should probably actually like check the legitimacy behind that itself. But yeah,
Well, I will when I search for a picture to put up.
yeah.
And if it's illegitimate, then I will put a picture of you with a dunce cap up.
So there is actually a post on Reddit. It was posted 3 years ago, right here, 2016. It does have quite a few pictures and links to what they look like. The undead female looks one way, but in the other it looks very different, I guess. Yeah, no, it definitely looks
Interesting. I'm
looks
gonna Google
different. And I can probably just send you this link here. So, but yeah, like here you go. But yeah, no, like it was interesting. I remember hearing about this and everything being so different. But yes, sorry for off topic like rant. I thought it was interesting and I thought more people knew about it. I'm actually honestly surprised you didn't hear about it.
I'm surprised that I didn't hear about it either, because literally the only news that I let grace my ears is news about gaming.
Yeah,
So-
I mean that's kind of probably relevant to you as a video game player and content
Wow, so
producer.
they literally just put flesh
Mm-hmm.
over the bones.
Yeah.
I
like-
actually really like it.
Really?
I'll be honest. Yeah. I like it more than the original.
Nice.
That's my own personal opinion. You guys, if you love the undead, don't hate comment. But yeah, I personally, because when I started playing this game, like I said, I was 9 years old. So the undead would freak me out, and I actually had an undead, and I would have to make sure I turned the computer screen off before I went to bed, or if I left the room and I wasn't going to be back in my room until dark, I'd have to turn it off. Otherwise, I would get super scared because I was scared of the dark, and I would have to run to my computer screen, shut it off, and then like run into bed, and it was the weirdest thing. So I actually really enjoy this model a lot, and I think that they did a lot better with the detail as far as like, so like the bones, they kind of just look like brown chains in areas, and
Yeah.
they kind of look like they're just like added on top of the skin, whereas with the two-tone skin, it literally looks like it's 2 layers of flesh, and you can
Right.
see like the tears and the separation, not just like patches. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Interesting.
But yeah, I'll definitely have a picture up on the
maybe
video
a link in your
as we're
description to
describing
it
it.
too, maybe.
Yeah, and a link in the description to the what was it, Reddit?
The Reddit post, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's cool. It's like if there's pictures in there talking about ICC, and like you scroll through it, and the dragon, is actually like a blue skinned dragon, and there's a where you separate an ICC and go to the two different bosses, one on each side, of the with the poison gas and stuff. The homunculus type one. I don't remember too much of ICC because I never raided it while it was canon. I only
I didn't either.
sprinted through it in the future expansions to get mounts that I still haven't gotten. Invincible.
No, that was ICC was Waddle-K, right?
Yeah, Wrath of the Lich King. Well, yeah.
Yeah, so I started in Wrath of the Lich King, but like I said, I was 9, so like I had school and I didn't really know what I was doing for most of it.
Right.
So it took me so long to make it to level 60. By the time I got there, like the Burning Crusade was probably 3 months from coming out.
Right.
So I kind of just like goofed around at 60, waiting until the Burning Crusade, and then I went on from there. And then my account got hacked, and I had to make a shaman on my new account. Or I made a shaman, and then my account got hacked. So.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, no, like that. I thought that was such an interesting thing.
There really is. I wonder if any other country has to do that.
Well, I know. So like, there's rulings on ESRB ratings, like consistently across every country. Certain countries can't display specific types of content due to that country's laws and stuff. Like I know Australia, I believe I remember them having like certain restrictions on their ESRB stuff.
Really?
As well as like a mature game in the United States can't be higher than like PG-13 in another country. Like it's stuff like that, it's interesting.
Right.
My brief spout of working for Xbox actually leaded to me like learning a lot about that stuff because people ask questions and you're trying to stay relevant to like what your consumer base is talking about. Which I loved working for Xbox. That was probably my favorite job I've ever had in my life.
That's awesome. It's too bad they don't hire out of California.
Yeah, no, it's so like, yeah, I can't really go into a whole lot of detail about what the process is like because you're supposed to sign non-disclosure agreements and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
But like it was great, honestly, man. Like, sure, I worked on their customer support team, and yeah, absolutely, there are going to be people that called in raging, angry because, something's broken or their kid decided to spend like $200 on. At the time, it was V-Bucks. Fortnite was like top of the town, hit of the city. At the time, it was at its peak, and I can't tell you how many times I got calls from parents because their kids, racked up.
Trying to refund.
Yeah, exactly.
Buying something.
Yeah, that happened quite a bit. I think that was probably the most annoying part about the job. Otherwise, I think just being able to talk with fellow gamers and all that stuff, it was just really great, honestly.
That's awesome. I would love to do something like that. Although I don't really have the gaming know-how or like technology know-how.
Yeah. No, I guess that's where we're...
I'm amazed by the poor editing that I get out on these videos. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was a period of time in my life too where I was dead set into getting into digital cinematography and like doing video editing and stuff. And I had a YouTube channel way back in the day. I don't know if you remember it.
Is it Chris Snapple?
Yeah, Chris Snapple, dude.
Chris Snapple. Dude, I still look at those videos from time to time.
Oh man, memories, man. Dalton and Wesley, we were babies. We were just getting out of high school. Like,
dude, yeah. I look at all of you guys in those videos, and I look at like the last time I saw you guys, and I'm like, whoa, big difference.
Well, yeah, no, it was crazy too, and I honestly feel absolutely horrible about it because like we made this channel with intentions to like find 101 ways to use Snapple, and when we were really pushing for Snapple to see our content. And so we pushed and pushed and pushed, and they finally were like, "Hey, we like what you're doing, and we want you to continue doing this. Here's a bunch of free like stuff." They sent us blankets, and they sent us a bunch of coupons. They sent us Snapple T-shirts and all that stuff. And in the last video we ever posted on that channel was us showing that we got all this loot. And we never posted again. And I feel absolutely horrible for that. Because, like, I understand that to a company like that, that was pennies on the dollar to send us that stuff.
Right.
But
that was just their free package to like, say sorry to people or whatever.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily to say sorry, but like, I feel bad about it from like a moral aspect. I feel like I kind of somewhat stole from them, even though I didn't. And it's just like we reached out and we heavily pushed for their approval or their involvement, and it just went down the gutter. I imagine too.
Why did you guys stop?
So it was a combination of things. A lot of conflict, I guess. It happens with a lot of YouTube creators that work with multiple people. Kind of under the same window. None of them had any experience with editing. I was using Sony Vegas Movie Studio 10 Platinum at the time, and I was doing all the editing.
Not a sponsor.
No, but Platinum 10 is so old now. Like
yeah, I know.
Sony Vegas was assumed by another company. And now it's completely under a different company. I can't even get my license for that program anymore because they sold it off to another company, and I've just never been able to find a way to get my license back.
Man,
which sucks because at the time it was like a $200 editing program.
Right.
But oh well, I'm not much of like I'm not as inspired as I used to be. I wanted to like film movies and shorts and stuff. Nowadays, yeah, I could theoretically still do it. I do have my limiters with my physical disabilities.
This is the platform.
But absolutely, you know, and if people enjoy my voice and enjoy the things I have to talk about, I would absolutely love to provide more content for budget gaming, or as you've actually probably mentioned, I can't remember if it's in a later episode or this episode that you mentioned it, but the rebranding and all that stuff that's coming, if you want to.
I've mentioned it in a few videos, so I'm sure that it's out there.
The rebranding that's coming.
Definitely we're going to be doing a podcast, and we're going to change our name, and we're going to have a few announcements on that podcast. It's going to be on the same day. So make sure you like, subscribe, and you hit the bell for when that happens. I'm hoping around the end of October. Nothing is ever set in stone. But I'm really excited about this project. I just have a few more things to get together, and then we're going to start working on this. And as it is right now, because Alex and I hadn't really spoken about it before I had this idea with Brandon, it's going to be mainly me and Brandon, but definitely for the first episode, and hopefully a lot of subsequent episodes, we're going to be having Alex on, because I miss talking to you, dude.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoy talking to you. I feel like there's a difference in the kind of friendships that you develop with random people online versus somebody who you have known for years on end. I absolutely love my online gaming friends, and some of them are closer than family.
Oh man,
I still don't know. Yeah, no, there's those casters again. I still don't know if I could ever get to the level of trust that I have with you, because
dude,
there's
for
that
real,
established
that's what happens when we met each other. You were my only friend in the area, and you were being homeschooled, so you didn't have the daily task of having to have fake friends at school. So it just made sense for us to just hang out. And when we hung out for like days on end. Like we would spend like 2-3 days hanging out for a bit, and then take like a while off, and then Even when you move, like, I wouldn't come up for just a day. I'd come up and at least stay one night, if not two.
Yeah.
Just
Man, I
so,
miss that.
yeah, dude, it's fun. It's like just a little mini vacation for one of us anyway. Because the other
Yeah.
one's always at home. But
No, and just like I still remember that 4th of July party we had at your house, man. That was a lot of fun. That was probably one of our last hurrahs together too. Um, was
yeah,
that?
the one I had right before I moved.
Mm-hmm.
That was
A
a
lot
good
of.
party.
It was a great party indeed. It was.
Ricky
It
had
was.
fun at that party.
Oh yeah, he did. Uh,
We might talk about that at one episode on the podcast. I don't know.
yeah.
So,
It's.
a heads up for the podcast. So, what I try to do on this channel is I try to make it family friendly for most of our content. I try to bleep out most of the swearing. Sometimes I miss a few. We never really talk about anything that inappropriate. The podcast, however, is going to be rated M for mature, just by myself. No, there's no actual rating system, I guess. But I'll have a warning at the beginning of it because we are going to be talking about some stuff, whatever comes to mind, but we're all guys, so stuff happens.
Yeah.
But so that's going to be mature content. So if your parents are okay with that, or they are watching it with you, or obviously if you're over 18, then that's fine. And I'm not going to put a restriction on it to where you have to sign in and have an account over 18 unless YouTube makes me, which I don't think it's going to be that bad. So that shouldn't happen. But just to let you guys know, that one's going to be a little more. So I don't want to get into those party details too much in this series.
Right.
But we will definitely be talking about some times we've had in the other one. So coming up on this quest right here, this is the last part of the Fire Totem Shaman quest. And so I had to go get fire tar, I had to go get a pouch, and now I'm coming back. I have to turn in this quest, go to a stone, drink this liquid, and beat up these fire elementals. As you'll see in this video, I tried to do solo my first time. It didn't work. I died very quickly. So we'll all laugh at that while this video comes up to a wrap. But then my video cut out because we were going to take a break, and then I forgot to restart it for the rest of this quest. So I don't have the part where I actually won and did this quest. But what happened was I resurrected at my body, and then when I woke up, there was 2 people already almost done with it. So they invited me to a party. I hit it once and it died, and then I got the thing, and it was very lackluster. So I just want to say that so you're not like, oh, what happened? But this part was more running around. The next part, I'm hoping that we can get all the way to like 13-ish, and then the following part, hopefully 15, and that's when we can start hitting those dungeons and actually doing some fun questing in some more unique areas than just the starter stuff. And one last thing is not these next few parts because they're already recorded, but coming up, we're going to have both screens shown. So I'm hoping to cut back and forth between mine and his. So you'll have like a tank perspective or a healing perspective sometimes, and then also a DPS. Although in the dungeons it really kind of looks the same because it's
You're on top of each
third
other.
person, But it'll if we're ever in different areas doing different quests or something like we were today, then it'll be cool. But
Yeah. Indeed.
well, Alex, it was fun having you on for this part, and because you are my only friend that's cool enough to play World of Warcraft, you will be in all of my parts.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a great sentence, but I said it. So
Hey man, whatever floats your boat.
that's what we're gonna end with. So enjoy this clip of me dying, and make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share this with your friends, put it on your Facebook feed. It's the best in the world, deemed by me only.
No,
Thanks for watching.
I think it's great
Bye.
too. Bye.